Hello, everybody. Welcome to our webinar today. And today we will speak about interactive email, how they work, how they perform, how you can actually build and scale them. And today with us our guest, Caroe from Netcore, who is a VP of sales for North American. And and Dmytro Kudrenko, who represents Stripo. And today, I think we have to dive into the magic world of interactive emails.
Thank you, Dmytro. I appreciate you having me on today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for coming to us. And please, the word to you, how you think interactive email works.
Yeah. So the reason I actually came back into email, I had actually retired for a bit and was doing some consulting. The reason I came back was when Pratik Badra, who's our CEO North America, called me up, and I know Pratik from years ago. And he said, "Listen, man, you got to see this. These shoppable emails are just fantastic." And what it is it's based on the AMP technology and the RCS technology. So the idea is that we're able to engage people. Here, let me throw up some slides and let's showcase this.
Yeah, we can see your slides now.
All right, great. So, Netcore Cloud's been around for a while. We were founded in India, do a lot of work internationally, Africa, Europe, Southeast Asia, and of course, North and South America. So we're able to work with a host of companies across the world, and we have both the marketing side, email, SMS, WhatsApp, web push, app push. But we also have the search side, and the search side allows us to do some kind of cool things as well. So we bought a company called Unboxed, and we've incorporated them in. So Unboxed allows us to go in and get massive amounts of data, which helps us with personalization moving forward. As a company, big numbers, third biggest mailer in the world. And so we send out massive amounts of email. We do it really well. And so as a result, we work with a lot of big senders and a lot of little senders, medium senders. We work with everybody. And it really focuses our attention on getting that inbox placement. We have been very well received by Gartner and Forrester. And the reason that we did well with Forrester in the last wave report was because we actually came in with something, Shar said, we came in with something that nobody else was showing, and something new in email. Email has become very stagnated, if we're being honest, right? Everybody uses it. Everybody complains about it. But at the end of the day, it just keeps going along, steady Eddie. Everyone talks about this is the new thing, or that's TikTok videos, or SMS is converting to RCS, and people are going to all be on Slack and blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, email still plugging along. So we came in and we showcased what we're doing that's different, got us a nice strong performer right at the edge of leader, and it was really nice this last year. And why is that? Well, it's shoppable emails, right? And shoppable emails is a combination of SMS plus other capabilities. So SMS is, or sorry, not SMS, AMP emails, being able to go in with AMP. And it's a Google protocol. It's been around for quite a while. If you use Google Sheets, you're very familiar with it. If you assign somebody a task, then that's AMP. So within this AMP email, we've also layered on a CSS layer. So if the person can't receive, and Dmytro, I believe you're going to discuss the limitations on AMP emails. It's Gmail, it's Hotmail, it's Yahoo, right? And if you're outside of that universe, you have, traditionally, you have HTML pops up. In our world, it's CSS. So you have a CSS thing, so you have monodirectional communication instead of bidirectional with AMP. And what that means is is that we can go in and do kind of fun stuff like just add to cart inside of the email. One of my sales engineers and I got onto a phone call early, so what'd you do this weekend? And he's in India. He said, "Oh, remember I bought that car?" And I said, "Yeah, great. I was really happy for him." Well, I needed insurance. And so I went into one of our clients, one of the Netcore clients, who's a insurance comparison company, and put in the details, got a AMP email, and I did comparison research inside of the email. I never went to the website, bought the email or bought the insurance inside of the email, did the processing inside of the email, and never left the email, which is just really extraordinary coming from the North America market where something like that just isn't done. And as a reality in the North American market, we can't do the actual payments inside of the email yet because the payment processors are very wary of it. They're not really sure what we're asking them to do. In Asia, this is very common. So this is just a question of North America catching up with the rest of the world. One of the great things, and this is one of the things that really enticed me to come over to get back into email, was that Netcore allows within these AMP emails and within the RCS, zero-party data collection. This is huge. If you're a marketer, if anybody says like, what is gold? What is the thing that you want most of all? Well, number one is sales, right? You want conversions. But second is the more information I have on an individual, the more I can personalize the content. The more I can personalize the content, the more likely I'm going to get that conversion. Because if I send a lousy email, so for instance, I'm 2 meters 2, so I'm a really tall guy, and I'm also a pretty broad guy. So when I go and buy clothing, my parameters are super simple. Does it go to the end of my sleeve? Does it fit my neck? Does it go long enough for my torso, which is very long? Anything above that is secondary, right? So fit first. So for me, I get frustrated when I get an email from somebody like Eddie Bauer or Land's End or companies that I buy from, and they send me things on women's sweaters. It has no relevance to me. It doesn't resonate, right? So it's a bad email. So anytime we can get more information on the individual and within these shoppable emails, you get to do some really nice zero-party data. And then you have increased engagement, right? How do I get people to actually interact with their email? There's been a number of research showing that the average American's attention span is now 8 seconds. That's shorter than a goldfish. So you have 7 seconds to convert somebody to get them to take an action. So anything you can do inside of that email where you don't send them to the web page where they get lost, where you don't just send them to a landing page, anything you can do to get them to avoid friction is going to be useful. And then finally, of course, we want to drive conversions. We want to get people to buy stuff so that we get to keep our job. So Netcore Cloud, we have shoppable emails. We've been really fortunate to work with some really great brands who have showcased how we can do different things. They kind of come to us with like, hey, we were thinking, can we do a wish list? Can we do live order tracking? Can we do, it's like, yeah, I think we can. Let's play with it. Let's see what we can do. So we work on the back end to make sure all of that works. And then, of course, nothing really matters until you get into actually how it's going to perform. This is, of course, talking about SMS and rich engagement, RCS, which is the other side of the coin, right? You have email and SMS. And in our world, we also have WhatsApp, which is really huge, and most of the rest of the world hasn't really taken off in the North American market. But you can see kind of crazy numbers here. 10x inbox commerce, 737 increase in conversions. Like that's just mind blowing. So it's really important that we bring these numbers out to the public and people can start playing with it and see if these things are real. I keep telling our prospects, listen, my job is to increase your sales by 4%. If I do that, chances are I've made you a couple $1 million. If it's 10%, that's fantastic. If it's 737%, Really, you should take me out for a really nice dinner. Okay, so a couple of numbers here, and we can talk about these on a one-to-one if anybody wants to give me a shout. And that's all I got. So thank you very much for letting me run through those, Dmytro. And you're on mute right now, Dmytro. So.
Yeah, thank you very much. The numbers are impressive. It would be good if we discuss them later.
Yes,
How it's
absolutely.
possible that adding some extra features in email increase the numbers dramatically?
Yeah.
And yes, please.
No. So, I mean, one of the things that was really interesting with when we did the analysis on this is that we saw this stepped here, right? So the first 2 or 3 emails were really low, like to the point where the client was like, I don't know about this. But then once people understood what was happening, and it was really the recipients were like, we've been trained globally to be hyper aware of, don't click on an email unless you know for certain it's coming from somebody legitimate, right? So if it's anything outside of the norm, people get a little bit wary. But once they've engaged with a couple of these AMP emails, then suddenly the numbers just rocketed up. And partially it was just driving good offers to people, being hyper focused on the offers we were giving people and getting those into the inbox. Some of these clients have said the only thing that they're bringing forward to the executive committee is AMP emails because it's working so well. But again, it's really relatively small numbers overall in the North America market. There's a huge opportunity here for people to take advantage of this and kind of be the first of the cool kids club and getting these out in front of their clients.
Exactly. Absolutely agree with you. And let me try to give some real examples and explain the technology, the backside of the technology, and then we will return back and discuss opportunities. Okay, thank you very much. See you later after my technical overview of the technology.
Yeah.
So before I start words about Stripo. Stripo is an email design platform that allows to create not only interactive email, any kind of email using drag and drop. We have 1.5 million users around the world, and I'm sure it's the best editor in the world. So if you didn't try it, you have to try. But more relevant for now, 2 words about me. I have a technical background, and by my educational background, I'm a programmer. I'm a person who write a code. And about 20 years ago, we started to write a platform for marketers. And Stripo, one of the products we do. We also have a Quest, Poyes, Puritana, several. But I just want to highlight it's why in my presentation will be pretty much technical information. But as we write the tool for marketers, I realized that marketers not very often good developers or not very skilled technical background. And from other side, developers are not very good marketers. They only think about technology, about solution, not about the real problem. It's why I think marketers have to understand how to implement their ideas without asking technical guys. So let's start with our interactive email definition. What is interactive email? So can we say that GIF is interactive email? There is some interactivity there. Or can we say if countdown timer is interactive email? So I think, and we had a webinar with Justin who, the good definition here. If email changes behavior when you in email, staying in email, when you do some action like a click or an over effect, if something is changing, it's interactive. And the most popular implementation of interactivity is a carousel or accordion or over effect or some selectors. And most advanced implementation of interactivity is a gamification in email. But what is gamification? So it's easy to explain and maybe give some pictures, but I think the best way to see it once, then hear about these thousands. So let's go into my inbox in Gmail. So I prepared several emails. Just let's look how it works. So questionnaire is one of the most popular case. So when in email, you can put some questionnaire with option to answer, and you can click and say, oh, it's wrong. The right answer is this. And, or maybe another question, another question. When you submit, you can have the data for future analysis. So, and you can submit the data. Say, oh, thank you, well done. And you stay in email. So one of the reasons of this dramatic increase in the conversion, that when you're working in email, you're not supposed to leave it for surfing somewhere outside of your inbox. You can implement like a mini application in your inbox that targeted for specific goal. Another very common case is multi-step forms. You can say, okay, what kind of pet do you have, like a dog? And then you can answer some question, some answer, and then go to the next step, answer another question, next step, or you can choose something. So it can be very different way of interaction. It can be pictures, you can submit the text, and then submit the data and say, okay, thank you. And all this data you can have in your server, again, without leaving email. Very popular, like in PS, you can say, okay, I like this product, send my response. And you know who exactly gives this response because of every email is already authenticated. You know who is it. Or like a product review, you can say, how do you like this? I like 3 stars by delivery or something like that. And you can submit, and you can again have your data on your site. And also it could be some interactive stuff, just look and feel, improves your look and feel. Like here, would you like to have a discount? Click. Very easy as just to provide the promo code in email. But to get this, you do some extra effort. And when you spend some extra effort, you can use the promo code with understanding, okay, I did something for this, I have to use this. It wasn't easy for me to achieve this, but it has to be easy enough to get, but still can be surprised, like a scratcher card. Do you feel your emotion when you played with some lottery, when you need to scratch something to understand? Do you have like some gift there, or prize or reward for your hard work? And yes, here you have a promo code you can use. And another example, like a tarot game, like a cards, you can choose 3 cards, and then you can have some prediction. So it's kind of gamification, and you remember you still staying in email, you're not leaving it. One click. And this logic that you don't do have extra step to go to the landing page for additional gamification implementations that works, save you conversion a lot. You can spin the wheel and you can have real randomly price. And some puzzles, like here, it was for Halloween. There are a lot of different images, and you have to choose one that has most Halloween vibes. It's not. So say, okay, it's wrong. It's a great picture, but it's not Halloween. You have to replay it. when you want to have some rewards, then you found the right pictures. Or you can have, again, some random stuff to have another 15% off. So, okay, you can do very many different things, very many games implemented in your email. And let's return to the presentation. So we split all the game we did in different categories. One, which is one of the most popular for e-commerce product, is a luck and chance game when you can play and randomly win something. It's a Wheel of Fortunes, rich card, gift box, and slot machines, a lot of games like this. Another case is education, when you can, through questionnaire or through some game mechanic, you learn your customers with some information. It's not necessarily have to be even a promo code or something like this. It's a puzzles, and puzzles have to be easy enough, but challengeable and interesting and context-based. It's creative and design games. For us as a SaaS product, as a Stripo, our customers engage most of all into such kind of interactive elements, which was a big surprise for me. But we had a case like this for Christmas cards. We provided to our customers ability to write the Christmas card to us and send us the card. And then we said, okay, we will choose 2 of them or 3 of them and give 1 year free. And we got thousands of different cards. I don't know why, but we had a lot of penguins. Maybe penguin is one of the big symbol of Christmas. And yeah, it was a lot of creativity from our customers.
I'm not familiar with the penguins of Christmas.
I'm not too, so, but now I said maybe it's a Linux users. I don't know. And they
Maybe
just
it's Australian. I don't know. Australian or South African.
Yeah. Number 1 was a Christmas tree, and number 2 by popularity was a penguin. Have no idea why. It's a cultural mindset, different countries, different
Oh yeah.
hero. Yeah, and some challenges. So guess something. Usually it works in a different way. When Rabbit tried to save eggs, but this different way. And just some discovery when you have to find out something. And we have a big numbers. And
Yeah.
again, like in your example, it's very impressive. I don't want to show you that every time when you implement interactivity in your email, you have a boost of conversion. It's not, because of it has to fit the idea of your email. It has to be very consistent. But from other side, again, it saves 1 step in your funnel, and saving this step can dramatically increase conversion. Like, what if we can buy the product immediately from email in 1 click? Is it possible or not? We can discuss later. So interactivity and gamification works. It just works. You saw it in my inbox. So, and we have a big numbers. Why we cannot see it in our promotional tab in our inbox? And I think there are a lot of reasons. And first, it just not everybody know how to do this. Even if they know that it's possible, it's still time consuming. You need to understand, and sometimes writing email needs a lot of coding skills to look good in any email clients. And it's even harder when you do interactivity. And you also should be very creative. Usually marketers are. And sometimes it's difficult to measure result because of some interactivity stay in email, and you cannot get all the data in your analytic platform. So how is possible to do interactive email without JavaScript? The first way is a kinetic HTML. It just uses the way that it's not supposed to be used in email, like radio groups and checkbox to implement interactivity. So there are a lot of technical stuff here. I just want to say that it's like punched cards from ancient development time, where you have to say, okay, if you click here, we have to show different something based on using CSS. It's hard. It's really hard to write. And it's not, even if you do this, not every email client will support this. So it's only Apple and Outlook and Samsung Mail support it, but Gmail doesn't. And for Gmail, it's another technology, AMP, that we just discussed. So what is AMP? AMP is technology that allows you to use restricted JavaScript in email and get the data in a moment when user interacts with email. So you can submit the data, send the data to a server. You can get the data from the server in real time, like weather forecasting or delivery product delivery status or recommendations that actual for you at this moment, not in moment when you send email, but in the moment when your user opens email. And some like layout elements. And to support this, so you need to you need to provide both HTML and AMP in the same time in one email. And if email client supports AMP, so it will show AMP like Gmail or Yahoo. If it doesn't support like Apple Mail, it will show HTML, but your HTML can be interactive. So for any interactivity in email, the best way to support both kinetic and AMP. AMP is not the same HTML, it's just additional tags in your HTML. So you have to rewrite HTML and use some extra components that extend like normal HTML, like AMP carousel. With AMP carousel, you can very easily implement some game mechanics. Or there is AMP selector that allows you to implement the match the pair game. Or bin component that allows you to code some hidden words and you can change them easily. In this case, you will cover almost all email clients with CSS and AMP. And interesting thing that you still have to care about all email clients who don't support static CSS, advanced kinetic email, and AMP. For them, we have to show static HTML. And in a static HTML, we have to provide the link to the landing page where interactivity works in a browser. So in HTML, we have to split two variants of email. One static that will have a reference to some landing page and interactive part. From coding point of view, in one email, you have section for CSS and section for fallback, for static. How it works? So in Gmail, if you don't have AMP functionality here, because the Gmail doesn't support CSS, you have just a link for your questionnaire, and when you click on the option, you will be redirected to a site where this option is already included into the landing page. So some users will even not notice that they transferred from email, but it's still not good. It's not interactivity in email. It's just a more advanced way to use questionnaire in a static email. So it's hard to do. You see, AMP, some coding restriction. You have to think about special version of AMP and HTML that's split into two parts, which is hard. And it's time to let marketers to implement it easily. And the main idea here is the same as a rocket. It's not a rocket science, but the same like in space engineering. I have an example from SpaceX, from Elon Musk, before he is going mad. I really like the idea when he introduced the way, okay, launching the rocket to space is very expensive, is very advanced, but what if we will reuse the very complicated and expensive modules? What if we launch rocket, we spend a lot of money to implement this, but we launch this, we can return it back to the platform, refuel, and launch again. The same we can do with emails. We can use modules. So what if we have a module for questionnaire, module for scratching card, module for some game mechanics? And we just need to provide them with the data, and all this complicated stuff like AMP or static or kinetic just works there. So modules is answer, and we implemented free for use for any platform library of these modules. You can go to the Stripo, you have a product for gamification, and choose a questionnaire and fill it with the data. So how it works, you just say you have a 5 question, it's option, it's image, and then you can save and export this as HTML to your email, or save it into a Stripo. And when you save it into a Stripo, you can then create whole email around this interactivity module and export to Netcore in one click, or to any other system you use for sending in one click, very easily. And especially for our event, I found that we have so many interactive emails already created. So, okay, but it's hard. I can show it in my inbox, but how you can feel it in your inbox? Just see that it's real and you can do this. And we created a library of, maybe it's easy if I don't show how it works. It's just library of, it's about 60 different interactive emails. You can choose one and see how it works. You can send to your email and see how it works there. So very easy. So just look to them and test how it works. And also you can go to, for some emails we started to create some how-to resources, so builders. So let's open the questionnaire. You have a lot of links, how to do the video, how to create webinar, how to create, and also the builder. A builder, how to create this email very easily without any coding skills. It's not only questionnaire, it's a puzzle, scratchers, and other. Again, very easy, test it. It's not promotion, it's free without any registration. Just know interactivity is something you can do now very easily with a Stripo and Netcore and any platform you use now. So that's it. It's what I wanted to share with you today. So thank you. And yeah, what do you think? Can we have more fun in our email after our webinar?
I mean, gosh, I've been selling email for over 20 years, and anything we could do to make it more interesting, right? Because, I'm having the same conversations today that I had 20 years ago in many cases. It's like, is email still relevant? Is it still a channel? Yes, it's.
And the same, I would say, the same trend every year. Every year, 20 years before and 20 years in advance is a personalization.
Yeah.
It's just a different level of personalization we can do.
Yeah. And it's also, the demise of email has been overly hyped. It's kind of like, I live outside of San Francisco, and so there's an entire industry devoted to like tearing San Francisco down. Like, San Francisco is this horrible place. Still one of the most beautiful places in the world. It's got the biggest collection of brains I've ever encountered, and it's the same thing. So email is kind of this odd thing. I've got 3 grown children, and one of my kids, when he was graduating college, I know you sell this stuff, but like email is just useless. My whole generation doesn't use email. He was working for 6 months, and I just started getting emails from him constantly instead of him hitting me on other channels, with text. So it is the tool that we still use. So anything we can do to make it more engaging, more interesting is going to be useful. Because we get so much of it, right? And so it's just, if you get so much noise, you have to get above the noise as a marketer, and that's kind of the really challenging thing.
I really like your analogy about San Francisco and email. It's still actual. It's the same you can say about the democracy. I know so many problems of democracy, but nobody knows the better way of society. The same. And technology, with interactivity and AMP, shoppable email, Apple and Gmail have a different approach for interactive emails. And nobody trusts Gmail in terms of technology because they always create something and then kill something. AMP exists as an open source in email for 7 or maybe 8 years. So, and it's still not very popular.
No.
So should we invest, how you think, should we invest our effort or marketers' effort into the technology?
I mean, I remember when AMP was announced, and I thought, wow, this is really interesting. This is, and it's backed by, I think originally it was going to be Gmail, Microsoft, and Apple were behind the protocol. And then very quickly, Microsoft and Apple did what they do, which is, we're going to go create something.
I think Apple never was there, but Microsoft, yes.
Microsoft was, okay.
Argue, it's the biggest mail provider in Russia.
Okay.
They did it together, and I thought that yes, they did open source, which means they don't own the platform. Everybody can. They did a working group to make it available for everybody.
And on the backbone of so much of what we do on the internet is all this amazing open source stuff that everyone says, okay, this is the protocol. Can we all agree to this, right? I think Wi-Fi is a great example of that. Like Wi-Fi is this really weird idea, but it's a consortium that goes, okay, we're coming out with a new version of this thing that we all use. It's so ubiquitous. And then, here are the new signals, here are the new frequencies and all this stuff. So anything that you can do on this, the open source is fantastic. The challenge is when some of the companies like Microsoft say, we're going to pull out of this open source and we're going to create our own thing, and then does what Microsoft often does, which is that they don't come up with anything. And so it's really a shame that we haven't seen them just adopt this technology, because it does work and it works really well. It's there, right? Like why go through and sorry.
It's a key. It works from user perspective. Then technology should never be on our way from a company to user. And it's why I think AMP works only for Gmail, do AMP for Gmail users. And also have to care about Apple users who support HTML5 plus CSS. So, and from old Outlook, it's still your users. You have to care about them. It's why you have to care about fallback. And it's not only a problem. I think senders also a problem. For example, not everybody can send AMP. Netcore can send AMP.
We can send it. We've actually tried. We've tried sending over a couple of other platforms as part of an integration strategy with some folks and companies. I'm not going to name names, but companies who said, "Oh yeah, our platform supports it." we created all the AMP templates for the clients, and we sent it over this other system, and it was just a nightmare because the other system, in theory, supported it. Like somebody had read a white paper and did some coding, and I don't think anybody actually tried sending out over that platform because it came out all janky. And so we had to go in and kind of reverse engineer what they were doing and so forth. So it's just easier for us to send it out over our platform or send it out over, Stripo's platform, where it's just built for it, right? It's in place, it's ready to go. There's a lot of emails being sent over our platform internationally with this protocol. So it's really important. It's kind of like RCS, right? Like in the rest of the world, RCS is common. It's table stakes.
Yeah.
In the North America market, it's new, and that's because Apple was blocking it until last year.
Every year I hear about the RCS, but it's still not very popular. The same, to be honest, with the AMP. Everybody, okay, AMP, it's good. But
this is the year.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge. Yeah.
By the way, another obstacle on the way to implement interactivity in emails and AMP in emails is the deliverability.
Yeah.
I always have a question, okay, how it can impact on my deliverability because of it's some extra HTML, extra part. Have you any measurement or observation around this?
We were actually, I think, pleasantly surprised that we weren't seeing it. And I think that was partially because our deliverability team has so much experience with AMP. So it wasn't a new thing. But we were able to go in, and we knew the pitfalls, or we knew where the stones in the road were that we could trip over, because we do this so often. So I think that's another struggle for other vendors out there who don't do this every day, is how do I get this email delivered? It's sort of like attachments, right? Every year somebody calls me up and says, hey, we want to, we're doing emails and we want to do attachments. We want to do attached invoices or, something. And my response is always the same. Yeah, I can do it, but you're going to really screw up your deliverability. And they go, yeah. But we really want it, or some lawyer or somebody who's not in marketing is like, well, this is a requirement. This is a business requirement. It's like, okay, yeah, you can do it. And this is the way you do it right. And this is the way you do it wrong. But at the end of the day, just throw it up on a web page, put a hyperlink and shoot it over there.
Because if it's increasing the volume a lot, you see.
Oh my gosh, it creates such, and also the cost. And I get it. There are industries where, you have legislators, you have people in government who don't understand technology, like in North America or the United States. I'll just speak to us. Our Senate is really God's waiting room, right? If you look at photos from our Senate, the average age, I think, is 107 or something, because you just have all these old guys who just, they don't send email. Like they do a photo op to send an email, and then they have some staffer who takes care of this. So from just a nuts and bolts standpoint, they don't understand the challenges that they're creating legislation out of ideology, not out of a place of knowledge. And the people who work for them often are just like, yeah, dude, whatever, we're just going to do this. And there's a new Texas law that really kind of irritates me. And it's on the calling side, so on the SMS side, where they said, okay, if you send a text to somebody in the state of Texas, you can potentially face litigation. It's like, okay, can you give us a list of people in Texas so we can compare? No? Okay, so we have to guess. So now I have to guess whether somebody's phone number, they went to college in California and they got they grew up in California and they got their first cell phone. And like all of us, we can port our telephones. And somebody's moved to Austin or they've moved to Houston. I don't know that. I can't tell that from the thing. So you have these not only technological impediments, but you have legislative impediments as well that are being put in our way as marketers that we have to work around. So AMP is just a technological one, thankfully at this point. But it's something that, if you've done it, if you go with a provider who knows what they're doing, they're going to be able to get these things delivered.
Yeah, and I also want to say that from other side, from technical point of view, AMP increases deliverability because of AMP means that if AMP works, that you have no problem with your authentication, security, and reputation. It means that for sending email, you should definitely configure your SPF, DKIM, DMARC policy, and have to be recognized by Google as a whitelisted, as a good sender of promotional emails.
Right.
So it means you have now it's like a special mark that you're trusted and good sender.
Yeah.
So it improves deliverability. It's not make it worse.
Yeah.
And you have
it's so funny. Like we've there's so many of these hurdles that kind of get thrown up over time, and most of them are in good reason, right? You do try and make sure there's a lot of there will come somebody who will do something really dumb with AMP, and then we'll have to deal with it as an industry. Thankfully, we haven't had that happen yet. But this idea of being able to engage people inside of the email itself is just so important, especially we're coming to a place, and I don't want to derail the conversation, but we're getting to this place where AI chatbots are going to become this real issue for marketers. And my concern, I was recently at a conference, and the conversation around lunch quickly involved marketers saying, listen, we're hearing that these AI chatbots are coming and these shoppable bots, and like, how are we going to deal with this? And I think it's just a big unknown at this point, right? I mean, I know how I'm envisioning it, but at the tail end of that, it's you as a marketer have to create as much access to information as you can so that these bots are able to see what are the products you have, what is the information that you're sharing, and so forth. And part of that exercise is probably good you're going through with AMP, because you're kind of having to look at how you present your information. You're having to look at, like, are we offering products that are out of stock, for instance, because these are dynamic. They're happening in real time. So if you're sending an email out and you're saying add to cart, you also have to integrate the back end. So you have to have the search capabilities on the back end that are able to flow through to an email. And if you don't have those set up, then that's probably going to become a really big issue in this new AI bot future, right? These shopping assistant bots. And so I'm really curious how the two are going to merge, right? How my marketers are going to have to deal with this new paradigm. More things to worry about. Keep us up at night.
So yes, thank you. It's interesting, but we almost ran out of time. I have a last question.
Yes.
Do you feel that some interactive email can be a bad solution for somebody?
A bad solution?
Bad solution, yeah. So we saw that it works. It improves numbers dramatically if it's implemented in the right way. Is there any idea how we can do it in the wrong way?
Oh, that's an interesting thought experiment. I mean, kind of the easiest bad solution. In the United States, we have a law called HIPAA, Health. I know this information, blah, blah, blah. It protects your medical records. And so the idea was back in the old days, 15 years ago, a file with your health records, if it was left out and somebody picked it up and went, oh, Dmytro's look at that. Here's his cholesterol levels. Here's his, like all the things we would prefer if people not know. Then you as an individual could go to the provider and say, you left my health records sitting out on a table, and somebody read it, and then they tried to blackmail me on my cholesterol levels. And so we created this law, HIPAA. as we've gone to digital, it's become really problematic. And everything kind of in the medical space falls under HIPAA. As you know, lawyers just kind of go, well, it's HIPAA. And it's like, no, it's not. Like HIPAA is really specific, but it's become so broad. So I could see a thing where somebody at a healthcare provider tried to do something clever with AMP and just ended up opening up a giant can of worms, right? Inadvertently, like, hey, do you have itchy scalp? Do you have this? Do you have that? And then where does that information go? And is it properly protected? Right. So if you ask me where they could go sideways, I think there's some legal stuff that marketers could be a little too clever for themselves. And always just run it up the flagpole. Like if you've got a legal group, go, hey, we're thinking of doing this. And I can't think of a good example. But there's several cases recently where marketers came out and were like really clever. And then it turns out they they made up, the old joke was there was a US car called the Nova. I actually owned a Nova back in the 80s. And it meant no go in Spanish. And so they tried selling it in Mexico. And of course, the folks in Mexico were laughing about it. It actually doesn't technically mean that, but it was a joke up here. And it's a question of, marketers could do something stupid because there's more than just your language. There's more than just your culture. Penguins for Christmas. Who knew?
Yes.
That happens. Who's into penguins for Christmas? But it's like there is more than one culture. There's more than one set of norms. There's more than, what is funny in Sweden is not necessarily funny in South America, in Peru. So it's, there's just different cultural norms where you have to kind of take these things into account, and marketers can not think this through. Oh, I actually do have a great example. I work for a company, and they came up with a name. They spent $1 million on this name, and it was Luminati. And like they brought the whole company in, and it was this box that you could access the internet from your TV. This was 2007, I want to say. And I just raised my hand and went, like the Illuminati, the secret organization that controls the government. And the person who is in charge of this project's like, I'm sorry, what's that? And like 5 people in the room out of like 50 people understood what I was saying, but the rest didn't. And it was like, no, we just spent $1 million to come up with a name that makes it sound like we're a secret organization that runs the global economy.
Yeah, you say to me, the Stripo is like email built by like stripes, rows, like it's a way how we build emails. But in some countries, people read it as a Stripo, and the Stripo sounds like some entertainment stuff, not about some clever coding standards. Yes, it's a cultural differences, and naming is a very tricky stuff.
Yes.
And for interactivity, yes. My suggestion will be here: don't implement interactivity because of you can. It's do this because of it solves some problem. It improves engagement. It minifies the number of clicks, increasing personalization, making your offer more transparent. Just understand why you use interactivity. And I believe it's a great technology, and I'm so appreciate how work you do in Netcore to make the technology go forward and bring more interactive, engaged email for businesses who use your product, and for customers and for me who receive the better emails.
Yeah, Dmytro, I really do appreciate you as well, man, because like if more of us are doing it, and there'll be an inflection point, right? There'll be a tipping point where suddenly this is no longer this weird little tool that, that's on the fringes. It becomes kind of more mainstream, and then it's just going to blow up. So let's look forward to that day.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And thank you so much for your time and the opportunity to speak to your audience today.